The production we chose was She Stoops to Conquer. It's a hilarious play about mistaken identities, the complications of social class, and the importance of honesty and being true to yourself in any budding relationship. Our tagline for this play is Things aren't always as they seem, which refers to the deceitful ruse the characters lead each other on as they try to get to know one another. Our metaphor is a well placed smile may hide any manner of deceitful intentions. She Stoops to Conquer will have you guessing at every turn, lost in the intrigue of mistaken identities and mischief.
The play was written by Oliver Goldsmith in 1771, but was first produced and performed in 1773. The original title was The Mistakes of a Knight. She Stoops to Conquer was an immediate success and has outlived most English language comedies from the early 18th century. After a short illness, Goldsmith died in 1774. This play has been performed several times throughout the years. The play still appeals to and is popular with audiences today because it contains all the right elements. At the time the play was released, comedy was mostly sentimental and brought a smile rather than laughter. Goldsmith wanted to make audiences truly laugh with his play. She Stoops to Conquer was Goldsmith's first comedy.
A summary of She Stoops to Conquer. Mr. Hardcastle has arranged a love match for his daughter Kate with an old friend's son. As her suitor, Marlowe, travels to meet her, he stops at a tavern to get directions and meets Kate's brother, Tony. Tony decides to trick Marlowe and his friend Hastings into believing that his home is actually an inn and that his father, Mr. Hardcastle, is the innkeeper. Pompous Marlowe begins acting like he owns the place and speaks to Kate as if she were a lowly servant rather than his future betrothed. Kate, who is not as submissive to her father as she appears, takes the opportunity to see how far she can take this ruse with Marlowe. Comedic events unfold as different characters discover the ruse at different times and try to use it to their personal advantage.
The play takes a lighthearted approach where all the characters make mistakes. It explores the shifting roles between parents and young adults. This will resonate with a young adult audience who can relate to the idea that we all have imperfections and can learn to laugh at ourselves. Each character undergoes relatable growth by the end. We want to bring this play into the year 2025 to highlight the clothing and relationships of our time.
The scene we are presenting is when Marlowe meets Kate for the second time and mistakes her for a worker. In our version, the Hardcastle home will be mistaken for a bed and breakfast, and their personal housekeepers and assistants will be mistaken for workers, one of which will be Kate. We chose this moment because it highlights the play's central theme of mistaken identity and social class misconceptions, particularly for the main characters, Marlowe and Kate. This scene captures the essence of the play's title, She Stoops to Conquer. Marlowe struggles to speak comfortably with women of his own social class, preferring to boost his ego by talking to those of lesser social status. So Kate stoops by pretending to be a working class woman in order to connect with him.
One key point of potential confusion in our scene is how Marlowe fails to recognize Kate when they meet for the second time. To address this, we designed both of Kate's outfits, even though only the second appears in our scene, to highlight the stark contrast between them. Kate's first outfit is intentionally extravagant. Her tight fitting skirt with a slit, low cut blouse, and bright red shoes draw attention to her figure and away from her face, possibly making Marlowe uncomfortable and less likely to look at her directly. Her luxurious hairstyle and heavier makeup match her character's preferences at that point in the play. However, because her father disapproves of her modern style, they agreed she would dress more plainly in the evenings, explaining the second outfit. Her second look is designed to resemble a modest hotel or bed and breakfast employee, as Marlowe mistakes her for a barmaid in the original play. Her hair is in a bun, her makeup is toned down, and she wears glasses, an intentional nod to the simple disguise of Clark Kent. She also wears a button up shirt, slacks, and flats, with each element contrasting her early appearance. Both pairs of shoes include decorative details referencing the highly adorned and decorated preferences of the 18th century fashion and connecting the updated setting to that original era of the play. For Marlowe's outfit, we aimed for a business-like appearance. Since we updated the setting of the play, we needed to translate the status of Marlowe and the Hardcastles into a modern context. The most fitting equivalent seemed to be leaders of companies or businesses, which would explain their wealth. Marlowe comes across as someone who thinks highly of himself, so he would likely dress to reflect that. His hairstyle resembles that of modern famous figures, and the pinstripe suit contributes to the business owner aesthetic. His formal shoes also help establish his character and serve as a nod to the original era. Noblemen of the 18th century often wore shoes with large buckles, so the buckles on his shoes mirrored that tradition, much like Kate's shoe embellishments.
The main lighting for this scene would come from above, illuminating the stage using colored gels to create a soft orange and yellow tones to give it a homey and more indoor feel. It would also illuminate the actors and set, making them easier to see. We would use other lighting accents to add character to the scenes, such as a fireplace, lamps, LED candles, and string lights. The fireplace would be a mock fireplace. It would create a cozy and warm glow, used to more establish the environment and set the mood, rather than actual light. We would place lamps and LED candles sporadically around the room as part of the set and to make sure that no part of the stage gets too dark. We want to add string lights that are soft yet bright above the set room to create a soft, cozy feel similar to the fireplace, but we'll add more light above the actors. String lights are commonly used in people's homes as well as commercial venues such as restaurants or posh hotels, making it easier for Marlowe to mistake the setting. They are also the most modern lighting we use, which will better relate to our target audience. All these lighting choices will create a feel of a cozy and relaxed room where Marlowe can be himself and not try to be too impressive with Kate the maid, which aids in their budding relationship.
In conclusion, our modern adaptation of She Stoops to Conquer demonstrates how this classic production can remain both timeless and relevant. We wanted a comedic script, and Goldsmith's purpose for this play was to make the audience laugh out loud, something he accomplished through his use of mistaken identities and social class misconceptions. We believe this script will resonate with young adults who can relate to awkward relationships, social pressures to fit in, and the journey to find self-confidence. The adapted costumes and lighting are designed to provide a modern feel while still retaining the essence of the 18th century. In this modern version, we aim to continue making the audience laugh and leave them with a deeper understanding of how social roles and appearances still influence relationships today.